second. Hi Gerald, how are you doing today?
Hey Tracy, how are you?
Good, thanks. Take a seat. Alrighty, how have we been since I last saw you?
Yeah, pretty good. I've done a few bigger runs now. I'm up to 32k, so I've just been progressing since the last time I saw you, from 25, done the 28 and now 32k. So.
Okay, excellent. And how's all the training feeling? How's your body holding up?
Yeah, pretty good so far.
Pretty good?
Bit tired by the end of the runs, but you know.
That's to be expected, isn't it? Alrighty, that's excellent. So you stated to me last session a fortnight ago that today you'd like to discuss some nutrition options for your running, so pre-run, during the run, and then for after the run. Is that correct?
Yeah, you sent me through that email last time after our last session, so I filled that out and sent that through to you, so you should have that.
I've got that copy here.
With what I've been eating and pre and afterwards and stuff, so.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, so hopefully we can go from there and you can just give me some information and some knowledge on what I need to do to improve.
Yeah, definitely. We certainly can do that. So today what I'll do is I'll give you a brief overview of the nutritional requirements for long distance running, a little bit of science behind it all. Then we can go through your 24-hour food recall. We can look at some different options, or maybe some better options or different options for you to try over the next couple of weeks. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good. So yeah, I guess it's just what I'm eating afterwards and stuff that I'm quite concerned about, making sure I'm getting it right.
Yeah, definitely. We need to make sure that we are having the best foods for afterwards, because that promotes recovery and things for you. Alrighty, so to start with, I think the biggest thing is long distance running requires lots of high energy stores. So what we want to do is make sure that before our long runs or during training, that you are storing, that you're getting your carbohydrate stores up to their maximum before you go out and do your long run. Then during your runs, you're wanting to make sure that you're taking in regular carbohydrates and fluids to make sure that your body is fueled correctly during the run to help you get through to the end. Also, then afterwards, we want to look at your recovery foods. So it's really important to get in some carbohydrates and proteins within 30 minutes of finishing your run, and also replacing all the fluids that you've lost during the run. Your body can get quite dehydrated, so we need to make sure that we replace all those fluids and salts and things as well. And we'll also look at how much fluids you should be taking prior to the run, during the run, and then like we just discussed, after the run, because dehydration can have devastating effects on your running.
Yes, I've seen that before.
Yes, I've experienced that personally during a run. So it can be quite terrible, so we don't want that happening to you. So you stated to me before that you've got 6 weeks to go.
Yeah, only 6 weeks now, so counting down.
Excellent. So we've got plenty of time to trial a few different nutrition strategies for you. Okay, so let's have a look at your 24-hour recall. So let's go through this here. Alrighty, so for your breakfast before you had the run, you had 1 sachet of instant porridge with some low-fat milk, about half a cup.
Yeah, that's right. You just fill up to the line in the little bag, so it's about half a cup.
And then some of the Jalna Greek yogurt. So how many spoonfuls do you reckon you would have had? About 2 or 3?
3 spoonfuls.
Maybe 3. So that probably is about 100 grams. Put that down.
There's some extra milk on top as well.
A little bit extra milk. Okay. Alrighty, so that's a pretty good. And so how you've put here, that was probably about 2 hours before the run.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have anything in between this and going on the run?
I had an apple, had some water.
And about how much water did you have?
About a litre. Yeah, probably about a litre.
Okay, well, that's good. Did you have any electrolytes or anything in the water? No. Okay, so that's probably something we can look at is adding in, is maybe adding a little bit of electrolytes into that water prior to you run, just to make sure that you've got those fully stored. And then also about an hour before is maybe having something that's, what we want is a low GI carbohydrate. So then your blood sugar levels aren't spiking prior to starting the run. So I'll send you through in the email once we've finished a list of options to have that hour before. So you felt all right having that porridge the hour before? You didn't have any tummy upsets or anything like that? No?
No.
Okay,
It's all
excellent.
good.
Well, that's a good option. So that hour before, you really want to, what we want to do is when you start that run, we want to make sure that your carbohydrate store or your glycogen stores are at their maximum.
Yeah, because all at home I've got porridge, Nutri-Grain, Wheat Bix, so...
Okay. Yep. Well, your porridge is probably your best option out of all those for that. We could probably look at things like even a sports drink, having just a sports drink, and or another muesli bar or sports bar, or even a Vegemite sandwich, or a liquid meal, something like Sustagen or something, that hour before, just to make sure that you've got those full carbohydrate stores. Now, out on your run, you've popped down here that you had 3 goo gels and 6 snake lollies, and about a litre of water while you're out there running. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's winter time, it's pretty cold, so I didn't sweat very much.
Yep. Okay, so what I might get you to do is, before you go out on your run, is to actually weigh yourself prior to just going out, and then weigh yourself when you get back. And then what we'll do is get you to have, when you get back from your run, is have 1.5 litres of water for every kilo that you've lost while you're out there running. So we stock up all the water or the fluids back into you after the run. Yeah, replace your fluids lost. Sorry, lost my words there for a moment. Also, we want to try and make sure that while you're out there running, that you're consuming about 240 to 300 mils per hour of training, which you've actually probably just on the cusp. So it's taking you about 3.5 hours. So maybe if you'd added maybe about 200 mils more, that would have been about the appropriate amount to have. But as you said, it wasn't very hot. So
what happens if I'm running in hot weather?
Well, you'd want to have that full on the higher end, so around that 3 to 330 mils per hour of water, just to try and replace what you're losing, because the devastating effects of dehydration can be dizziness, headaches, vomiting, upset tummies, which can sort of end your race for you, and we don't want that to happen. So you've put down here 1 hour after the run, you had a Mrs. Max meat pie and a can of Coke. Did you have anything when you finished, as soon as you finised?
No, I wasn't hungry. And then I felt hungry about an hour later.
Okay. Well, what we wanted... Oh, yeah. Probably not the best nutritional option. So within 30 minutes of finishing, what we want to do is try and get some carbohydrates and protein back into your body. We want to get some carbohydrates in to get those glycogen levels back up, or carbohydrate stores back up. And what the protein does is it actually helps repair any damaged tissues. So you can have something like, if you don't feel very hungry when you get back in, something like some low-fat chocolate milk, a sports drink, those kinds of things. I'll give you some options listed down what you can have, and then you can see how you feel when you get back from the run and what kind of works for you. So for your lunch, a carb option is great, and I guess you've got some meat in there as well for protein. But what we'd probably be looking for is something that's a bit more nutrient dense, so something that's going to fuel your body a little bit better. So maybe a meat and salad sandwich might be a better option. And then instead of the Coke, maybe replacing it with something like just a glass of water or sparkling mineral water or something like that. How would you feel about that?
I'll give it a go. We'll see if I can do it. I usually feel pretty hungry after a race. You want something, after a run, you want something unhealthy, not healthy. So
maybe even trying something like wholemeal pasta or brown rice with a bit of curry or a nice pasta sauce or something like that.
like nachos or something like that.
Yeah, you could do like I can send you a nice healthy version for those recipes. I'll just write that down. So option. Alrighty. So then for afternoon tea, you had a banana and 3 cream biscuits.
Mhm.
So banana, fantastic, great, love that. 3 cream biscuits. They're kind of high in saturated fats and sugars, quite heavily processed. So maybe we could look at an alternative to maybe like a nice homemade cake or slice or something like that. Was it that you were craving the sweetness?
Yeah,
with
just
those?
a bit of something sugary.
All right. Well, you particularly like cream biscuits, do you, or you just
They were just in the
just
cupboard.
there, were they? All right. Would you like me to send you? Do you have any favourite sort of cakes or slices or anything?
I like orange and almond cake and banana cake.
Okay, well, orange and almond cake would be. I think I actually have a great recipe for a orange and almond cake. Would you like me to send that through to you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just write that down. Okay. So then for dinner, you finished off with roast beef, roast potato, roast onion, steamed broccoli and carrots. What a beautiful dinner. So how many slices of roast beef did you have in there?
Half a dozen.
Okay. So big slices, little slices. Okay. So we'll aim to have around that 150, because you'd had a big day, maybe 200 grams of your protein or your meat with your dinner. The roast potato, how many pieces did you?
3 roast spuds, yeah.
3 roast spuds, little ones, big ones?
Medium ones.
Yep, so about
Yeah.
that big, yep. Roast onion, broccoli and carrots.
And a gravy on that as well.
And a gravy too.
Could have gravy.
And so what, about 1/4 cup maybe of gravy?
Yeah, maybe.
Was it a homemade gravy?
Nah, just a grey box out of the tin.
Okay, grey box. Okay, excellent. That's a great meal that is going to also help get your energy stores back up. It's got some carbohydrates, it's got protein in there, got your beautiful steamed broccoli and carrots. The only maybe suggestion that I could improve that with is maybe changing the roast potatoes to maybe sweet potatoes. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, well, we always have sweet potatoes or pumpkin as well in the cupboard, so.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Well, sweet potatoes are just a more low GI food, so you won't get that spike in your blood sugar levels. So it'll just keep you fuller longer. And then for pudding or dessert, you've popped down here that you had fruit salad with the Jalna Greek yogurt. And sort of how much fruit salad would you have had?
2 cups.
2 cups. And what was in your fruit salad?
Whatever fruit was in the bowl. I think there was some plum, apple, orange, banana.
Okay, excellent. Very good. And how are you going with the Jalna Greek yogurt? That was one of the suggestions from a fortnight ago. Are you enjoying having that?
Yeah, well, I just bought it because it was on special, but it was nice, yeah.
Yeah, remember that we'd sort of talked about that last week. And Are you finding it sits in your tummy all right? It's got all those good probiotics and things in it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels fine. Like I've got a cast iron gut, so.
Excellent. Very good. Alrighty. Now I have some really fantastic fact sheets here that I thought that might be of interest to you that you can take away with you, or I can email to you, but I have them printed off, so it's up to you whether you would you like to take them now?
Yeah,
Yep.
might as well, but yeah.
Okay, so what I've done is I've printed these off for you. They're from the Australian Institute of Sport. So I've got one here on liquid meals. So it goes through things like you've got your Power Bar, Protein Plus, Sustagen, and what all these fact sheets do is break it down, and it tells you how much energy, how much protein, how much carbohydrates, etc., are in each product.
So how much do I need when I'm running? And
well, that's what I'm going to send you, is a fact sheet on those specifics, and I'll make some suggestions in there as well on what things I think that you should maybe give a try. So you can see here on this fact sheet for the long distance running. So pre-event, we want to try and consume, it says here, 4 grams per kilo body weight of low GI carbohydrates, probably between 2 to 4 hours prior to training. So we've got lots of different options that you can have, everything from like your porridge, which is fantastic, even things like some multi-grain toast with jam and honey, and maybe a sports drink, things like that. So I'll actually list for you what I would suggest to have 2 to 4 hours before, 1 hour before, during your training, and then post-training. So these ones you can take away with you. So here is a breakdown of all your sports bars.
mm-hmm.
Then this one here is on your sports gels. So for example, you were using the goo bar, now it's goo gels. So you've got your goo gel here. It says on here that your goo gel contains 20 to 25 grams of carbohydrate per gel. So the recommended level is between 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrate per hour. So that is...
So I should be having 2 of those an hour.
Yes. So yeah, so maybe you weren't having quite enough. No, I think I must mess that up. Sorry, let me just start again. Where's my sheet? Hang on, sorry. Okay, so here, sorry, let me just refer back to my sheet. So yeah, so 30 to 60 grams per hour. So yeah, really you should have been having 2 of those gels per hour to make sure that those carb stores are enough for your training. So you only had 3. So we definitely need to up that.
What about with the lollies as well? Does that...
The lollies aren't actually on here. I will actually look those up and see how many carbohydrates are in those lollies. You would have got, they definitely do have carbohydrates in them with all the sugars and things that are in them. So they would have been, you only had 6. So I don't think it would have been quite enough. So we might look at, you can see that some of these are quite substantially higher in the carbohydrates than the one that you've used. So it would just depend on what's going to work well in your tummy. Because these products can actually give you a bit of a funny tummy, so you definitely need to trial everything in training and see what works for you and what doesn't. Here is a breakdown of all the different sports drinks, and same thing, it has a breakdown of all your carbohydrates, and then also your sodium levels, so you know how much electrolytes are in there, because we need to replace those salts and things as well. And it's got some great information. So on the side here it tells you whether, like in your sports gels, whether they can contain caffeine, etc. in there. So these are a great little source of information for you when deciding on what's going to work for you with your training. So I'll also give you this little fact sheet on the long distance running, and it just goes through what we've discussed. So that the overview here, just saying that the long distance running, you need your higher energy stores. Then here a breakdown of what you need pre-training. So 2 to 4 hours before, that 1 hour before with a low GI, and then you're wanting to consume something that is a high GI carbohydrate immediately prior to starting. And then what you need to consume, that 30 to 60 grams per hour of the carbohydrate during your exercise, and then what you need to actually consume post running, so for your recovery. And down the bottom here it also states what you need to consume fluid wise. So prior to going to bed the day before, we need to consume 480 to 500 mils. Then when you wake up, the 480 to 720 mils, etc., etc. So I'll leave that with you so you can have a bit of a read over it.
That'll be helpful actually.
It just sort of breaks it down a bit more for you, doesn't it? So you can see there's quite a science behind what you need to consume and when. So it's very important. So Gerald, do you have any questions for today?
No, I think you've given me enough information to keep me going for a couple of weeks anyway. So if you just email me out that information, the other stuff that we talked about.
So I'm going to email you a recipe for some healthy nachos and tacos, and that great recipe for the orange and almond cake, and also the suggestions I'm going to make for each of those categories. So the pre-training, during the training, and then your post-recovery.
Yep.
As well. So I think the other thing, the only real thing that we need to change with your dietary requirements here is really just that lunch thing was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, so you have a nice sort of healthy salad, meat salad sandwiches.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, cool.
Alrighty.
Get away from the sugary drinks.
Yes. Yes. Alrighty. How do we feel about that?
Very good, Tracy. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. So shall we make an appointment for, say, 2 weeks' time?
Yep, 2 weeks' time sounds good.
Okay. Let me just put that into the diary. All right, Gerald. So shall we make that on the Tuesday again? Does that work for you?
Yeah, this time of day is good.
Okay.
Before I go to school and pick up the kids.
1 p.m. And then I'll send you another copy of the 24-hour food recall. And then on that long run before you come and see me, I'll get you to fill it out again. And then I'll get you to just take some notes on the side on how you felt with the nutrition that you've consumed, how it's reacted in your tummy, what time particularly that you took everything. That would be fantastic. And then we can go over that in 2 weeks.
Cool.
Alrighty, excellent. All right, thanks very much, Gerald. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Tracy.